Alright guys, I was gonna show a little bit about Guild Expedition. I'm just about done with it and then I realized, oh man, I didn't make a video. So I'm gonna show you a little bit. Some people have been having a little bit of trouble with negotiations. I generally fight through the first three levels and negotiate in the fourth. When I first started this guild, I was not able to do that. I struggled to make it to the third. Most of it was negotiations, very little of it was fighting. And that's one thing I want to bring to your attention. In the other videos, I showed where to check your attack and defense. So I'd like to draw attention to that. If your numbers are not around this area, you're probably not going to be able to do what I'm going to show you as far as fighting's concerned. But I'm also going to show some negotiations. And generally what I do when I'm negotiating on level 4 is I always go to the tavern, to the shop, and I activate extra turn. Generally you don't need more than 15 minutes, but I mean if you're a little slow or a little choosy, you might want to pick a little longer, but I'm going to go with 15 minutes. Let's go in here. As you can see, I'm already at level 3. I just bought attempts because my arc is at a break-even level, so I don't gain any forge, but that's all I have is really metals to spend. I'm going to go through a few battles here just to discuss some tactics that I use here and in Guild Battlegrounds. As you can see, I've already been fighting, but generally what I do is I look at the team on the right. You may have to do this if you don't have the power that I do, or if you have more, you may have your weapons already picked out. But I generally pick half of whatever's shown here, which would be one of those, and one of these, and maybe 2 howitzers. The rest I fill up with rogues. And if you notice here, I'm using all detached, which is represented by the little orange stripe. Those are all detached troops. The reason I use those is normally I would use my attached ones for everything except for rogues, and I'll explain that in a minute. The attached ones will not have the orange stripe. I've already used all of those since I've been battling. But those to me generate faster in camps than waiting 24 hours for the Alcatraz to supply them. Since I've used them all up, I have no other choice. Rogues, on the other hand, if you have to make a rogue, it takes 17 hours. So if you burn through all of them, do the math. Depending on how many attached ones you have, those are all shown here. And then my detached ones show on the end. To me, if you have to replace 2 or 3 of them, that's longer than 24 hours, so I just soon let the Alcatraz replace them. But you may not have an Alcatraz, you may not have a choice. So anyway, since I have my troops already picked, half of what's shown on the right, you can go ahead and battle. I usually do a boost before I go into this and to Guild Battlegrounds, but since we're using the extra turn, it would cost you 50 diamonds to activate a second boost, and I really don't see that's necessary. So we're just going to march through here. I'm going to do a couple of battles so that you get a feel. I'll use half of my attempts for that, and then the other half will do negotiations. Let's see, I need 2 soldiers. That looks good. Anything on a horse, you'll always lose. They're very weak, and I consider them expendable. Doesn't matter what age you're in, anything on a horse is weak. Alright, one of those, one of these, those, one of those, and then fill the rest with rogues. Okay, now just to show you with my power, I don't have to sit there and pick troops. I can wipe out just about anything with 4 howitzers. So I'll do one of those just to show you. Oop, wrong tab. Well, since I didn't have that extra boost, I just lost one. Alright, I got 4 extra attempts. So from here we're going to do negotiation, because when you get into level 4 with negotiations, you'll have to deal with 10 goods to select from. I kind of have a little pattern that I use, but we'll go ahead and do this. This little fly out is from Faux Tools. I don't use it. I think it's an irritant. All I really do here is I use different combinations for depending on how many I'm faced with. When you get some right, I always shift them either to the left or to the right. You'll have to get you a little pattern depending on the age that you're in and all of that. One way works better than the other. It's all a game of chance. So, alright, I used all 5 of these prior. I have these 3 left to go. So we're going to try those. If I get another incorrect, which I didn't, that would be the last item. So anyway, we're going to continue shifting. Yeah, the last item would have been fertilizer. But we got all 4 of those right. This should be assault. And boom, you got it in 3 tries. I didn't even have to use the 4th try. I usually get lucky like that, except for level 4. Level 4 is the only time I really use the extra turn. There's the little irritant fly out. You can try that. I've never had luck with it. But this time I'm going to go the opposite way around. It just works for me. Shift. Use the other ones you didn't use prior. And we know that's got to be that. Now this we have to choose. When you get to this point, in earlier phases, I've found where it's usually the one on either side. Sometimes it's the one highest in value, other times it's lowest. They change it up quite a bit, so you kind of got to feel it out to see what it may be. In this case, I'm going to go with rubber. And I was right. The only reason being, from what I've found, and as much as I've battled through this, I've noticed that most of the time it likes a alternating pattern. Alright, this time I'm just going to pick all the ones at the top because there's 5 of them. And we're going to shift. Alright, now we're going to use the others. Supplies is the only thing we have not used. And I got an incorrect, so we'll probably try that one next. Alright, gold, we're going to shift over here, and we'll use the supplies there. Ooh, now here's where I need the 4th turn. If not, this would have cost me 10 diamonds. Alright, we're going to shift them one more. Only because we can use coins here and here, so it's got to be here. We used coffee there and there, it's going to be here. And the only thing left is supplies. And boom. Alright, this last one I'm going to do a battle, just cause. I don't want to use up all my goods. I like to save those for battlegrounds. Ooh, another 24, yay. Alright, I gotta collect all my torso. Ooh, I got a store building. Oh, I love those. Those come in so handy. Alright, And I only knew I had rewards sitting around because the little totem up here was colored. If it's grayscale, that means you've collected everything and you can go to the next level. I'm not going to bore you with that, so I'm going to end this now.